All right, here is our first player. Managed to win his first match, but then lost to his teammate in the winner's match. Here he is in the final. He is
TaeJa.
Colorful keyboard. Reminds me of the sweethearts candy you get on Valentine's Day.
Yeah, that's exactly, like I couldn't put my finger on where I'd seen those colors before. That's exactly where. Here's his Protoss opponent though. Did well in Code A previously, trying to keep himself in Code S now that he's fought his way here. Koreans, the Korean language doesn't have a Z sound in it, by the way. Yep. So if you have players with a Z in their name,
like Ganji,
that's why we call it Ganji, because that's how the Koreans pronounce it.
That sentry's like, I'm out of here. The Marine's like, aw, this makes me feel slightly stressed out.
Now, a little interesting thing here, we were looking at TaeJa's versus Protoss. He actually has like a 60 some odd, 70, close to 70% win rate versus Protoss. So he has very good TVP. And we actually also noticed that TaeJa and Oz actually also met in an ESV weekly about a month and a half ago. And TaeJa won that series as well. So it was a 2-1 though, so it was very close.
And Oz lost to SC and Marine King in WCG. The game against Marine King was very unusual. But anyway, as I was saying earlier, guys, Command Center first and Nexus first. The calm before the storm.
That's right.
We may see some Psy Storms.
We may see some Psy Storms. This is going to be probably at least a decent length game.
We don't have the patch yet in Korea, by the way, so the EMP radius is still standard. Patch has hit Southeast Asia, but not Korea.
Okay.
So standard EMP radius. I forgot to make that clear. As well as the upgrades last game were at their original cost. They've not been reduced yet. Imagine if they were last game. Wouldn't have mattered because Oz had his timing set up so quickly. Anyways, he didn't miss a beat on those.
Yeah, that was actually really interesting how he had the money, including the gas, saved up. Like, that's a lot of gas. 3-3 upgrades are actually really expensive. He had that saved up for the right time.
Well, neither player has scouted the other yet. They can both predict that this is the builds that we're going to see. It's almost crazy not to go Command Center first or Nexus first on this map. TaeJa made his Command Center as part of a wall-off, though, after seeing what happened to Bomber. He thought, well, I just got to be sure. But because of this,
I heard about that.
Oz is already mining from his Nexus at his backdoor expansion and using Chrono Boost there, whereas TaeJa's just now got his orbital there, and he's not going to be mining from it for quite some time. You know, at an expansion where you can get extra saturation is what I mean. 3 barracks going up here. No gas is yet taken by TaeJa either. This is going to allow Oz to put pressure on if he wants to, and it really limits the amount of pressure TaeJa himself could put on Oz.
Yep, definitely. But he's, of course, going for a just heavy econ type build, and the Zealot's actually going to go ahead and chase the SCV instead of going straight to TaeJa's base, although now there's going to be a little party happening. The Zealot and the Stalker both are going to go on their way to TaeJa's base, so he is going to be put under a little pressure, and he does not have a bunker started, so...
Yeah, and wall-offs actually end up hurting, you know, a wall-off can hurt a Terran player if there's no ramp, but in this case there is a ramp. Stalker's outrange Marines, that was the point I was trying to get to. So because Stalker's outrange Marines, it's going to allow Oz to put a lot of pressure on here, as long as he constantly has vision. And with the Zealot, he can put a lot of pressure on too, but there's so many Marines out for TaeJa, Oz is going to have to retreat. He may end up losing his Zealot if he overcommits here. Back home, Oz is going up to 3 gateways, and...
There's one forge.
Just one. Don't want to make 2 this early. He hasn't quite powered up his gases just yet.
Oh, but he wants to put on some pressure, though. Pylon going up in the back of TaeJa's base. He might warp in some units there.
His warp gate research is finishing here, as are his 2nd and 3rd gateways.
Yeah, so he might make a couple more stalkers. And
he just wants to force the bunker here. You know, he knows that his opponent's gases are late. Marauder's on its way now. He's got concussive shells as well. And Oz can take a third base.
Wow, that's actually... That could be end up being a little bit dangerous.
With his forge, though, if he senses that his opponent's going to move out more, he's actually going to sentry contain him.
Oh, good, smart move.
He can make cannons, though, as well.
That's true. Yeah, you're right.
because before medevacs are out, cannons actually do quite well, especially when your opponent has a mostly marine composition. Scan goes down here, does not see that he's researching hallucination. He was able to see a Chrono Boost is going down, but didn't know on what. He's researching hallucination right now, which means that most likely he's going to use that to warp units onto the high ground to do harassment later on. We've seen that a lot of the time in this matchup. Otherwise, you don't see hallucination a whole lot in this matchup. Sometimes you see it for like hallucinating board race and tank Viking shots. Notice Oz is getting armor first. It's the most important upgrade to get in this matchup. It makes much more of a difference than attack before you have Colossi out, for example. In this matchup, of course.
Yep. Definitely. And yeah, he's just going to basically say, all right, TaeJa, you take your 2 bases. I'm going to take 3 and hang out in front of your base. And TaeJa can't really do much about it. If he tries to go down the ramp, he'll get force fielded, he'll get his army cut in half, he'll get units picked off, and just...
Hallucinated Phoenix comes in here to scout, but we were talking about upgrades last game. This game, TaeJa actually got super fast double engineering base, so he's going to be ahead in upgrades. Whereas Oz still only has the 1 forge. He finished his +1 armor way faster because you just absolutely mathematically will with Chrono Boost. But, you know, TaeJa's going to catch up pretty quick.
It's funny, he's kind of microing his hallucinated Phoenix out of the way to make sure it stays alive a little bit longer.
And now he's able to see the timing. He knows when the medevacs are going to be out. He's going to force field once and then get out of there because he knows now the medevacs are out.
Yeah. If he hangs around, then he might just ferry all of his troops to the bottom and slaughter that portion of Oz's army. So he's going to have to fall back home to where his zealots are. Factory. Scouting out into the middle of the base.
4 more gateways being made here. He's going to need those to finish to hold off this timing attack from TaeJa. TaeJa is going to have 1-1 when he hits.
He's going to have 1-1 stim and combat shields all finished within like 20 seconds of each other. That is actually a beautiful timing right there.
And actually TaeJa decides not to go. The gateways are finishing. Second forge finishing for Oz as well, so he's actually going to be able to keep up with upgrades here. His +2 armor is already halfway done. That's how fast, if you don't skip any Chrono Boosts on your upgrades, which Oz has not,
wow.
That is how fast, man, you can get that upgrade out.
That's actually a little insane.
It is a little insane. Ghost Academy on its way for TaeJa, but I gotta say, Oz is just in such a sick position here, man. I don't know what to tell you guys. Oz is actually the best player in PvT right now. I think he is.
Well, we do have the Templar Archives going up for Oz, but the Ghost Academy going up at the same time for TaeJa to counter that. Units kind of running around the middle of the map for no particular reason.
No,
They're just like stimming and running around in circles.
TaeJa stemmed a bunch of units in the middle of the map and didn't split them off into different directions. They ran around, then turned back. Trying to spot the composition of Oz just to make sure he hasn't gone Colossi. And now he's able to confirm that. But Oz expecting the ghosts, which are being made right now. Mobius reactors on the way. He starts Storm, but also starts Robotic Support Bay. That same probe, the Meta Pylon's still hanging out over there.
Yeah, and the Pylon's going to scout when the 3rd base of TaeJa lands as well.
Very true.
And look at that. Storm. Yeah, like you were talking about, Storm and Charge are on the way. And
+3 armor. TaeJa is at 1-1. He's got his +2 on the way.
Oz might have a bit of a if this game goes on another 30, 45 seconds, then Oz's army is just going to be ridiculous because he's going to have he's going to have 2-2 with Charge, and he's going to have Storms, and that's just sick.
And he's already got a Colossus on the way as well. He's adding 4 more gateways. This is not a battle he wants to fight right now, though.
No, he needs to hang back until Charge is done.
He could potentially win that fight, but it's not a fight he has to make right now. He decides to back up. TaeJa gauging, not really sure whether or not he wanted to fight that. It's lucky for Oz. He's able to avoid that.
Yeah, he didn't know if Storm was complete.
Yeah, Oz is always staying a little bit ahead in supply because he's had that 3rd base up for so long. He's constantly powering up more production facilities. These Zealots are going to crush through this army. That +2 armor. Well, I say army, but it's just a group of units, this handful of crazy stuff.
That Zealot's going to crush through that Marauder with the help of the Stalkers. Yeah,
now
TaeJa knows he's in a little bit of trouble. He's putting some bunkers at the front.
He's starting to make Viking. He's always got he's getting +1 ship weapons. He hasn't started Viking production yet, but he knows he's going to need to.
Oh, that's pretty clever, actually.
3 ghosts on the way.
Getting the upgrades going early.
Oz has actually got so many gateways. He's got a total of 14 gateways now.
What?
And he's only on 3 bases. He's got a robotics facility pumping out Colossi. He does have Storm. He has, in total right now, 5 High Templar, all with at least 2 Storms.
We told you guys you were in for a macro game, and we were not kidding, guys. 14 gateways versus like 12 barracks with add-ons. This is getting disgusting. We're going to have maxed armies meet each other somewhere in the middle of the map.
Double reactor starports, but here's the thing, man. Range is done for Colossi. So he actually can just dictate this engagement now. He's going to always have a better concave outside of TaeJa's base. He's going to contain TaeJa. He's just going to keep poking at the bunkers. And what can TaeJa reasonably expect to do? Oz has better upgrades. He's got Colossi with range. He's got a better army. He's going to have a better concave. He's got Vikings, sure. But if Oz controls his army right, he can just contain TaeJa forever. He's got a 4th base on the way. He's got Storm. What is he missing, man?
Well, he's just getting his shield upgrades.
I'm like,
now.
that's exactly what he's missing. He's getting that, though.
Oh, no. He's going to storm the army. The ghosts are there.
Oh, stick his storms! Nice EMPs, though, but Oz's army is so much bigger here.
He's falling back out of the storms. The Vikings are all dead, though, and 2 Colossus remain alive.
Oh, man.
Looks like Slayer's TaeJa is going to be forced back into his natural expansion. Oz may finish the game here.
I think he may be forced back into Code A. Another storm goes down.
Well, I was talking about a possible sweep of the Slayer's players, but it looks like FXO is going to have a good day today instead with Oz probably advancing to the round of 16 here, cancels that command center, no 4th base for TaeJa, and Oz, wow, you know what? He's like, you know what, I don't have to finish you. He might anyway, actually, but he's taking a 4th base of his own.
Storm goes down again, not hitting very many units. The Stalkers blink on top of the Vikings. The Colossi doing real damage with their +3. Storm on all the SCVs.
Does take out one of the Colossus, but it may not be enough. There's a few Marauders in the back. Actually, he's got a good position back there. He may hold off this one. No. He may hold this off, but
he's going to hold this off, but with 14 gateways able to remake more units. Actually going to take it back. No, he's not going to hold this.
He's going to lose his 3rd.
They're the better upgrades, man. That's just what it is. +3 about to finish for TaeJa, but he doesn't have +3 armor.
And Oz has 5 bases behind this too, so TaeJa's going to be at 2 bases to 5.
The Colossus,
but Oz is charging in here. GG! Slayer's TaeJa is going to go down to the 2nd round of Code A. He's going to have to fight his way back up into the up and down matches, or into the what we call the Code S qualification round. And Oz will keep his spot in Code S and advance to the round of 16.
Yeah, Oz showing us, man, he really knows how to play PvT. TaeJa looking a little bit disappointed, and to be honest, I expected TaeJa to also make it out of this group. But the problem is he had to face Oz, and Oz is just not losing PvT. If you look up his record, actually, his record's actually less than 50%. But right now,
Oz?
Oz. And he lost a lot of weird games in WCG, for example. But he lost a lot of games in the past. But recently, that's when his PvT has started to really shine. And I've seen it. I remember the first time I played against Slayer's Boxer. I played against another Terran shortly after in Code A, and I saw something, and I was like, you know, Oz, actually, he's an innovator. He gets it. He actually knows what he's doing every step of the way. Every single step. So, I mean, we just saw that in that game. He knew every time. He was like, I'm going to make Colossi now. I have 14 gateways. I took a fast 3rd. What are you going to do? Because I know your medevacs are late. So that's why I'm going to Sentry Contain. And he Sentry Contained. He used Hallucination to know exactly when the medevacs were coming out. Then he pulled back. He held his 3rd.
So there's our results for this group. Slayer's Coca is going to actually, I did not expect him to be the one that would get 1st place in this group, but he beat his teammate TaeJa very handily.
And something else to note is what maybe the most surprising is Nada went 0-2 and is now in the round of 48 in Code A. Also,
he's now in danger of being eliminated completely from the tournament.
So he could be out of the GSL, and it all came down to that one attack where he was playing against Oz.
Here is some of the matches that are going to happen.
Yeah, these are a round of 16 Code S groups that are still forming right now. As you can see, the 2nd place from G and C will be at the bottom, and C and D, and then of course 1st from C and G will be at A and B. I said that upside down, sorry guys.
But we already have some amazing matches set up. MMA and Nesty are going to play, OMG. MC and SC are going to play, OMG as well. Gumio versus Koka, that's going to be pretty interesting as well. And
Oz and Happy will be pretty sick as well.
Leenock, Ganji, Alive, and MVP's opponents still have yet to be determined in tomorrow's Code-S matches. Tastoses are going to be back tomorrow to finish off the round of 32 of Code-S. There we go. Tomorrow's matches: Supernova versus Virus, Killer versus Jockji, Clyde versus Huck, and July versus Puzzle.
Yeah,
Those are going to be great.
That Huck, Clyde, Puzzle, July group should be just... I don't know what to expect out of that group. You know, we've got two Protosses who've been kind of up and coming, especially Huck. I'd say Huck is a much better Protoss than Puzzle. And, you know, July Zerg, he's like the mystery box.
Yeah.
You open up, you have no idea what's inside until you see it, man. And
Exactly.
Clyde, his sideburns, man, he hasn't cut them.
His Clydeburns.
His Clydeburns, man.
I'm actually also really curious to see how Supernova ends up doing, because he's actually been winning a lot of stuff recently outside of the GSL. He's advanced to the semifinals in WCG. He's advanced to the quarterfinals in the Arena of Legends. He's been playing really well lately.
And,
So
just want to mention one last thing. Also, Thursday at 6 p.m., the round of 8 for the G-Stars Team Ace Invitational will be taking place. Those players will be playing in Busan. Anyway, anything else to add, Moletrap?
that's going to do it. We hope you guys enjoyed it. Go ahead and add us on Twitter, Moletrap and Proxy Wolf, and we will see you guys next time.
A space case where you do it your own way. There's strange sincerity.